How's it going, Cock Munchers? And today I'm going to be going over some fitness myths that you've asked me about on Instagram and telling you if they are just myths and just bullshit or if they're actually true. Obviously, if you're not yet following me on Instagram, then make sure that you go and do so that you can get in on the action and ask me any questions. So if I do this again, you can get the answers that you so desperately need. Bye, pretty self-explanatory, and I'm just going to jump right into it. Creatine makes your hair fall out. If it does, that's news to me, and as somebody who uses creatine pretty regularly, I think I'm doing not bad on the hair front, and I'm actually getting more of it as time goes on, not less of it. But there is absolutely nothing to suggest that creatine does make your hair fall out, and if you've ever heard somebody saying that, it wouldn't surprise me if it's some juicehead who's just claiming he just takes creatine and he's actually balding from the side effects from steroids, and that's why you've got that perception. Does fasted cardio burn more fat? Fasted cardio or empty stomach cardio, whatever you want to call it, does not burn more fat, and in fact it could actually mean that you burn less fat. The whole idea of doing fasted cardio is basically there's nothing in your stomach for your body to burn, so it then goes and uses the fat cells for energy. What that can potentially lead to is a higher percentage of the calories you burn being from the fat, because obviously you're not using any food that's within the storage system and ready to go. But like the amount of bitches that you get on a night out, it's probably only going to be minimal. What can happen as a result of fasted cardio though is because you've not got any food in your system to use for energy, it actually just means you don't perform as well, meaning fewer total calories burned and less fat burned. And that's why I always opt for eating something before you do your cardio, so you can actually push yourself a little bit more. However, if you enjoy doing fasted cardio, it's one of these 6.5 dozen things. It's not like too big a thing to go and get hung up on. Herbalife is a crock of shite.
Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
I think that goes without saying, really. To be perfectly honest, I don't actually know how big a thing Herbalife still is. Like, I know obviously back in the day it was like huge, and every now and then somebody will pop up on my Instagram and they'll have a wee Herbalife code or affiliate link or something like that there. Although I do know some people that swear by it and have made pretty decent livings from punting it, so fair play to them. Stretching before workout prevents injury. Yes, stretching before workouts can absolutely help reduce the chances of injury. If you're lifting on really tight muscles, it's going to be hard for you to move effectively and get into all the positions and end ranges of motion that you need to. You don't have to spend like 30 minutes before every session doing stretching, but I do recommend you do some. When you do stretch before your workout, what I would always suggest you do is more dynamic stretching than static stretching, so like stretching while you're moving. If you do too much static stretching, what can actually happen is you can lose a little bit of the elasticity.
Uh-oh, retard alert!
Elasticity in your muscles, and dynamic stretching will get you loose as well as have some nice and stretchy tissue. If you stop taking creatine for a few days or one day even, it will ruin / stop the effects. Now, first of all, as I've said many times before, I'm not going to be the biggest cheerleader for creatine because most people just grossly exaggerate the effects of it. Is it harmless? Yes. Is it cheap to take? Used to be yes, now it's relatively. Is there any reason for you not to take it? No, go ahead, bash on. But just don't expect that you're going to be Superman overnight. However, like anything, doing a one-off isn't going to affect you in either way. So I'll flip this question back to you. Do you think that if you take creatine for one day, it is going to give you an effect? And the answer to that is an obvious no. So if you miss the odd day here and there with your creatine, it's not going to stop whatever effect that it does give you, and you don't really need to stress about it too much. And you need to remember that your body already produces creatine and you're getting creatine in for your food, and you're just essentially topping up your creatine levels with the supplement you're taking. Does cardio really kill gains?
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
So just putting out there, if you're ever going to refer to steps as cardio, then the answer is a resounding no. If you're talking about actual cardiovascular training, running, cycling, doing a sport, that type of thing, it won't if you do it correctly. It's a bit of a weird interruption this week. So if you're monitoring the intensity of cardio you're doing and you're not doing it too often, you're not doing too long a duration of it, you're picking a sensible type, then you can quite comfortably work cardio into your plan, no problem. And I've certainly never had any clients that suffered with their lifting because of doing too much cardio. And to use myself as an example, the time where I got to the strongest ever on my squats and I done a single at 220 kilos, that was during a period where I was playing football once or twice a week and going out in a cycle once or twice a week. However, if you are just doing a shitload of cardio and it's really intense, and moreover you're just programming everything in pretty poorly, then it's going to be quite hard for you to actually maintain and build on your gains with all that cardio. I've actually just had one of the troops this week break a 20-minute 5k whilst being in a deficit and still getting stronger in the gym. So if you're going to maybe play fives once a week or spend half an hour a couple times a week on the bike or a wee jog or something like that, then you should be fine. You will be fine. Can fat turn into muscle? They are two totally different tissues, and if you ever hear somebody talking about changing their body composition to holding the same amount of weight with more muscle and less body fat, it's because they have done the process of losing the body fat whilst building the muscle tissue. But the actual cellular, physiological mechanism that is going on in your body
Is she a retard?
is not like the actual fat cells turning into muscle tissue. But the muscle's being built over here and the fat's going away over here. Lifting weights slows you down.
What the fuck did I just hear?
Maybe the biggest myth of them all. Lifting weights, if done properly, will speed you up. A stronger muscle is going to be able to move you quicker, and this is asked within the context, I think, of sport performance, jiu-jitsu, football, whatever it is, and it's a whole big thing from athletes. Oh, I don't want to lift weights, I don't want to get too bulky and it'll slow me down. Just total absolute pish. If you're just doing a few lifting sessions a week on top of multiple cardio-based sport sessions, then first of all, it's going to take you a really long fucking time and for you to ever actually have a chance of being big and bulky for a kickoff. And second of all, when your muscles get stronger, they just move better, they can relax and contract quicker and stronger, and it's just going to make you just a better athlete overall. And that goes for anything, by the way. Like, even if you're like not doing a sport and you lift weights, you're not going to like get slower. You're actually going to speed up. And yes, when we're now talking about getting to like flipping Ronnie Coleman bodybuilding size, then yeah, you will slow down. But if you're training naturally, it ain't ever really going to happen when you get to that stage. So I'll leave it there. Coaching inquiry form is linked down below, as is free stuff, websites, mailing list, all that good stuff. Don't forget to like the video if you did like it, and keep an eye on the gram if I'm going to do this again. But it's probably going to depend on how many of you watch it and what sort of feedback I get on it. I've actually recorded this before my Instagram reels this week, so I'm not bursting for my usual pre-training, post-pre-workout shite. I've just got a regular shite brewing, and I'll catch you soon.